From bears battling wolves to otters attacking an orangutan and everything in between, let's kick off with the immortal question: who would win in a fight, a lion or a crocodile? Eager to get its paws on a nearby elephant carcass, this hungry lion decided to go tooth to claw with a croc over the meal. When two of the lion's buddies show up to defend them, things get nasty. The first battle leaves the croc's leg bloodied, so it backs away. The camera guy switches to photos after technical issues strike. But then, like a drunk after a bar fight, the croc edges closer again, so the lions beat it up some more. Eventually, the croc gives in, and the lions tuck into their tasty meal. Now, before taking charge of a pride, young lions roam around in groups of bachelors before challenging an alpha to win the hearts of those lovely lionesses. Take a look at these opponents from South Africa. It's hard to think of more classic enemies than lions and buffalo. This fearsome confrontation begins when a herd of buffalo takes notice of a skulking lion pride. While the lions are certainly intimidating, keep in mind that these buffalo can weigh over 1,800 pounds, and there's nearly 500 of them. This explains how apprehensive the lions are. The buffalo don't feel safe turning away, but the lions don't feel safe going in for the kill. The buffalo ramp up their aggression, and in the end, the lions turned tail without claiming a single one of them. There's strength in numbers, and in weighing 1,800 pounds. But there's one more beast lions are scared of: the honey badger. Despite only reaching 30 inches in length, this critter has a fearsome reputation, and it's hard-earned. Good thing the cameraman never dies. The pride of lions stumbled upon these two honey badgers in South Africa, and they weren't happy to see him. That lion got taught who not to mess with. In Zimbabwe, this honey badger tries to pick a fight with the biggest beast on the savannah, yet it still comes back for more. The elephant may be trying to ignore it, but its patience is clearly running thin. Damn, he sends that furry boy right into orbit. Even a honey badger can't come back from that humiliation and trundles away with its tail between its legs. Over in Botswana, a hungry python was going to make a meal out of this honey badger, but help came in an unlikely form. Imagine a jackal interrupting you while you're trying to eat your lunch. The honey badger takes advantage of the distraction and instantly chooses revenge. The python could have stood a chance if it wasn't for that annoying jackal. With the python dead, the honey badger and jackal have a game of tug-of-war, but another jackal shows up, only he clearly doesn't know who he's messing with. Shrugging off the jackal's nips, the honey badger is victorious and drags its would-be predator into the shadows from whence it came. I know everyone says honey badgers don't care, but that's not exactly true, especially when hyenas are involved. Even running for its life, the honey badger weaves around the hyenas with the grace of a boxer, and with good cause. Alone, hyenas are strong enough to bring down gazelles, impalas, and warthogs. This hyena was stalking this mama hog and her piglet, but it didn't go to plan. Whoa, dodging that charge was a good call. A warthog's upper tusks can grow into a 2-foot semicircle and inflict severe wounds on potential predators. You'd think being one of the most terrifying animals in Africa means that other animals try to stay clear of the hyena. Well, yes, that's a donkey beating up a hyena. Despite appearances, these animals put the ass in badass. When a predator approaches, they quickly spring into action, braying, kicking, and biting in savage defense. Some folks even use them as guardians for their livestock. Donkeys aren't the only prey evening the score with predators. An African leopard may be powerful enough to heave prey twice their body weight up trees, but are they a match for a porcupine? Of course not. The porcupine bristles its quills and charges, plunging its needle-sharp spikes into the leopard's skin before running back to the safety of its underground burrow. All the cat got from that encounter was a fistful of spines. What a dum-dum. Speaking of incredible animals, I've been enjoying Fishing Clash lately. It is our video sponsor today. One thing I love about nature is that you never know what you'll encounter next. A lion taking on a crocodile, a fearless honey badger, or a giant fish putting up an unforgettable fight. Fishing Clash is a fishing game for iOS and Android that captures the same excitement. With over 50 million players, 50-plus realistic fisheries, and hundreds of fish species to discover, there's always a new catch waiting. You can battle other anglers in real time, join a clan, compete in special events, climb the global leaderboards, and upgrade your rods and gear as you progress. Best of all, you don't need any fishing experience. It's easy to pick up, rewarding from your very first catch, and perfect whether you've got a few spare minutes or want to play longer. Download Fishing Clash using my link in the description or scan the QR code on screen. Then use my gift code BEAMAZED26 to claim a free $20 value reward, including an exclusive avatar. Thanks for supporting the sponsor. Now let's get back to the action. African elephants may be big boys, yet size can't protect you from teeth digging into your face, as this poor elephant found out. Youch. Youch! But considering a single African elephant can weigh over 8 times more than a crocodile, and there are multiple elephants rushing in, the croc very wisely let go. Honestly, it's lucky it didn't end up a crocodile-shaped pancake. Another behemoth is the white rhino. Well, let's see it go toe-to-toe with an elephant. Jeez Louise, it's a Mexican standoff here. Even when confronted by the elephant's massive face, the rhino doesn't look like it's gonna back down. Rhinos are supposed to have the worst sight in the animal kingdom, and this one's no exception. Oof, there's just no beating raw strength. Surely the rhino's not going to make it. Dude, it survived long enough to run away at least. Fights between these giants are rare, but due to the elephant's gargantuan size, they usually come out on top. Nevertheless, the rhino is still a force to be reckoned with, as visitors at this Mexican safari park found out. At least I know who to ask if I need a push start. This happy rhino calf wandered over to say hello, only for the giraffe to react like my mom whenever I ask for a hug. Aw, poor little guy just wanted to play. While hippos may look like cute, harmless blubber boys, you shouldn't be fooled. Hippos in Africa are responsible for the deaths of over 3,000 people per year. That's 6 times more than lions, crocodiles, and elephants combined. Just watch these two. The conflict began at midday when the larger hippo spotted the smaller one in a water hole that he clearly assumes he had dibs on.
Round 1, fight!
And it got ugly quick. See how the big one bats the smaller one around like a rag doll? Their tussle continued into late evening, leaving the smaller one so exhausted it could no longer fight. The following day, the filmer returned to the location to find it lifeless in the water. Africa is not a place for the faint-hearted. There's a zoo in China where the 2 biggest cats on the planet smack each other down. According to the video's description, these cats are an African lion and a Siberian tiger, who would naturally never meet. Something that can come about from such an unnatural meeting is a hybrid of these big cats. The liger, where the father is a lion, and the tigan, which has a tiger father. In an animal rescue center in Charlotte, North Carolina, these two clashed in a whirl of fur and fury. Predators? These two are nothing but pussies. In Mumbai alone, Indian leopards are estimated to eat between 800 and 2,000 dogs every year. But those cats clearly hadn't met Rocky the Labrador. Rocky was outside for a toilet break when a leopard leapt from behind and clamped its jaws around his neck. Somehow, the pooch managed to push the hungry predator off. Aha, maybe it heard the owner approaching. Either way, Rocky won this championship bout. An even more formidable cat is the Bengal tiger. Just look at these tigresses fight over territory. Tigers are so powerful they can prey on bruisers like the sloth bear, but that didn't stop this mother from protecting her cub. The bear continually pushes the predator out of the woods, but Shere Khan pins her down. Could this be the end for the bear? Oh no, she's got one more trick under her fur. Despite fleeing, this tiger still doesn't get the point, something it's about to regret. Finally, the bear returns to her cub, and the striped assassin concedes defeat. Looks like these bears are anything but sloths. Now, from bears to bulls, as bystanders in Mathura, India got a shock when they saw this crashing through the street. Something tells me this ain't the shopkeeper's first rodeo, though. But what happens when a bull fights a yak, I hear you cry? Even with that epic first strike, the bull learns it's the 1,200-pound yak who's boss. I know we've had lions and tigers and bears, but I'd like to pitch the mongoose as an incredibly fearsome furball. You kinda have to be when your primary source of food is vicious snakes. This large snake is minding its own business when it's suddenly ambushed from the brush by a wily mongoose. Now you may think this is pretty reckless of the mongoose, but some genus of the species are specially adapted to hunt even venomous snakes. They possess a glycoprotein that binds to proteins and snake venom, which renders it harmless to them. Looks like the mongoose is having snake tonight, though I don't like the look of that crow. A new challenger has appeared, except the cameraman seems to have a heart attack, so I guess we'll never know if it got its snake back. What's next on this terrifying list? Well, how about a chicken? Huh? Oh, you'll see, my friend. Aha, no way is that eagle messing with that mama hen's chicks. And she's not the last secret badass we got on this list. A sandhill crane stands about 4 feet long with a wingspan over 6 feet. Not that any of these facts faze this rooster.
What's going on here? Stand there with your beak open, say something. Explain.
And here's 2 more opponents I never thought I'd see clash. Now, despite their associations with beauty and elegance, swans are absolutely terrifying aberrations with no sense of empathy or mercy. Behold, as this mute swan fights an American mink that tried to grab a bite on the outskirts of Malmö, Sweden. Even though the swan dwarfs it, the mink uses its canines to cling to the swan's neck in hopes of immobilizing it. But the swan fights back, weighing 28 pounds with a near 8-foot wingspan. That smack must have done some damage. Just look at that mink paddle away. According to the video's description, both animals survived the vicious encounter. American mink, introduced to Europe after escaping fur farms in the 50s and 60s, have become a dangerous nuisance, preying on native species and driving some to near extinction. I can't believe I'm saying it, but thank heavens for swans. But there's things that lurk in the water even scarier than swans. Here's a sight that got caught off the island of Bathala in the Maldives. This dance of death is actually unusual. Typically, stingrays use their venomous spines or barbs in their tail, but these two seem to be happy just slapping each other with their fins. Aw, what a cute octopus. Would hate for anything bad to— Oh, dear God, Mr. Octopus was just minding his business! Luckily, the octopus managed to use its wits to squirt ink, change color, and skedaddle before the eel could finish the job. And if you were already scared of aquatic animals like sharks and crocs, allow me to add the sarcastic fringehead, yes, you heard that right, to your list. Males fight by opening their massive mouths and slamming them together. Whoever has the largest mouth is the winner. Man, you wouldn't want to stick your boop in one of those. While we're underwater, have you ever thought which crustacean would win a fight, a lobster or a crab?
Adjourn yourself, crab. This is moi tasty poisson. Jogo, mate. Oh, prepare to meet your maker, Monsieur Crab. Let's have it in, you mug.
I didn't even talk over that clip. That's exactly how the lobsters and crabs sound. Meanwhile, in South Africa, that's a tamanjua, a species of anteater. And yes, it does look like it's got a major case of small man syndrome. It rears up, arms raised to show off its powerful claws and ready to swipe. But the dog is too big and too fast. Found in the scrublands and mountains, the guanaco is a relative of the camel and llama and lives in small harems led by a single male. So when a young buck comes a-callin', Big Papa ain't happy. These fights have no rules. As you can see from that blood, guanacos use their razor-sharp teeth to tear at each other's cojones. Youch. How do you get when you're feeling snacky and there's nothing around? Despite being a fully grown adult man, I tend to throw a tantrum. Luckily for Mrs. Be Amazed, I'm not a jaguar. This frightening footage was captured in the Quiradaó Onca Pintada, a breeding park in Brazil. While it looks like the two bitter enemies have been pitted against one another in a cage match, the filmer tells us that these jaguars are simply experiencing a very relatable feeling, pre-lunch crankiness. Here they are shortly after being fed. See, lunch does heal all wounds. Somewhere else in South America, there's capybaras, the largest rodents on Earth. But how do these oversized guinea pigs look all riled up? Lol. If capybaras make you laugh, well then frogs will too. Aww. Heading down to one of the southernmost reaches of South America, you'll find Sea Lion Island. Arriving on shore, you'll find the Beachmaster, a big fat bull elephant seal who rules over his harem with an iron flipper and will rip anyone who dares challenge him apart, like this guy. First, they square up, but with neither willing to back down, the fight begins. They slam their 4-ton bodies into one another, each trying to wear the other down. It looks like lefties won this one. That's right, waddle away. Now in the Great Plains of America, revered for their massive size and strength, roam the bison, North America's largest land animal. And when they get into a fight, it looks something like this. This was captured in Yellowstone National Park during mating season, where drivers often spot bulls bashing against each other for mating rights. That guy was already losing even before the third one stepped in. What could be more patriotic than watching this big beast clashing with another icon of America, the Texas Longhorn? Even with the bison's strength, the Longhorn is no pushover and uses its 4-foot-long horns to try to heave the bison back. I like how much that goat's enjoying the drama. But if that wasn't American enough for you, known for their fierce territoriality, especially during nesting season, bald eagles will fight tooth and nail for nesting sites. After the chaos, the filmer said that they both survived and flew off to live another day. Speaking of pointless violence, chimps, our closest relatives, are experts in it. Just see how they react at the Los Angeles Zoo when they see one has a stick. Anakin Skywalker's really let himself go. Still, a better lightsaber fight than the sequels. And then these chimps chased this poor guy up to the edge of a scary precipice. Thankfully, everyone made it out okay. Let's go down to the swampy waters of Everglades National Park, Florida, where there be crocs and gators, and they can get a bit snappy. See how the two clash over their favorite basking spot? Judging by the U-shaped snout, I'd say that the one crouched low to the ground is a gator, while the darker croc is the one picking on it. Even so, the gator still lands a few good bites. Clearly fed up with the croc, it makes a waddle for it. Come on, guys, there's enough sidewalk for you all. In southern Florida, they have one nasty invasive species, Burmese pythons. And this one is trying its luck with a gator. Whoa, let's see that again. The Burmese python can grow up to 23 feet. That's over twice the length of most gators. This means there's plenty of python to go around a gator, literally. You can see that here as the devious snake encoils the poor lizard and begins squeezing the life out of it. Burmese pythons are able to exert about 6.23 pounds of pressure per square inch, though the bigger the snake, the more pressure it can exert. Either way, it seems like the python was too much for this unfortunate alligator. Oh god, that's horrible. Ugh. And I thought I looked bad trying to cram 2 corn dogs in my mouth at once. I need something cute after those ravenous reptiles. I know, squirrels! Oh man, this isn't cute. This looks like a rock squirrel attacking a bull snake, both native to the Grand Canyon. Now, not sure what it's doing here. Maybe protecting its young, or maybe it's just a giant D-bag. The squirrel loves being a bastard too much to run off, so it goes in for more. It doesn't even let the snake slither away like a sniveling coward. At just 21 inches long, the rock squirrel is still the biggest bully of the Grand Canyon and the most likely to send visitors to the emergency room. Another varmint that gives a surprisingly big kick is this gal. See, that snake was trying to eat that cottontail's kits, and so the mother sprang into action to defend her young. I am both heartened and disturbed by those children's reactions. Okay, what's next? I'm sorry, have I just put Looney Tunes on? I'm in utter disbelief. Oh, poor Gull. Who would have thought a video about animals killing each other could be grim? Those spitting ghost rats are actually Virginia possums, most famous for their playing possum habit, which is actually an involuntary response to danger. More like fainting from fright than pulling a prank. Now, the American black bear can weigh a hefty 660 pounds, more than twice as heavy as the average man. In Port Coquitlam, British Columbia, one wandered into a backyard and came dangerously close to a pet dog. Hey, I never said it was the bear who was dangerous. Maybe this one will fare better, sneaking into this pig pen in New Milford, Connecticut, to tuck into some fresh pork called Mary and Hamlet. That's what I call a pig shot. The pig's owner told the local paper she was blown away by her pigs, especially Hamlet, who charged out of the shed despite normally being afraid of his own shadow. A much more formidable relative of the black bear is the grizzly, who know how to throw their weight around. Man, I would not mess with the one with the blonde mark on its back. Told ya, bet you never thought you'd see a bear bitch slapping another bear, did ya? That wolf looks just as stunned. In Alaska, this lord of the meadow was sniffing away when a rival challenged his dominance. The two seem evenly matched until, oh no, dang, that must be agony. I mean, is he ever going to let go? If I were the cameraman, I'd have bolted by now. Damn, girl, look at that ass jiggle. Oh, wow, is one literally crapping itself mid-fight? Even after such a dirty move, both opponents carried on tooth and claw for nearly 10 whole minutes. I'm surprised the Meadow Lord still has any back left. Exhausted, the poopy, beaten bear eventually abandons the meadow to the victor. Over in Europe, there roves the brown bear. Here's two in Finland having a game of hide and seek that gets out of hand. Eventually, the bears settled down and went home, presumably to hang out and talk about Goldilocks. Staying in Scandinavia, here's an encounter with a Eurasian elk and a man channeling his inner Viking. Just an ordinary day in Sweden. And by the way, elks are the biggest, tallest, and heaviest member of the deer family and can inflict serious damage. Ordinarily, if one approaches, the best advice is to slowly back away and put something between yourself and the animal. Best not to copy this Viking. Throughout history, one animal we've feared above all others is the wolf. Now, how do you think this little dog will hold up against these deadly predators in Abruzzo, Italy? There's no way it can escape. What a leap! The wolves didn't even have time to register before the little guy runs off without looking back. According to the filmer, wolves are becoming an increasingly regular sight in the area, hunting livestock and pets. As humans invade habitats, conflict between us and wildlife is only going to grow more common. I have a soft spot for old Mr. Badger from The Wind in the Willows. I've always thought it'd be such a treat to see the animal in real life. Maybe not. These guys are very territorial and likely fighting over that bowl of yummies. And as you can hear, their sound is absolutely dreadful. They've even been known to clash with other animals, like foxes. But there are some fights they can't win, like, against a horse. Yeesh. Badgers' thick skin and long claws make them one of the few species that can prey on hedgehogs, which makes me sad. I like hedgehogs. They're adorable. Okay, fine. I guess they're not. If there's one animal we haven't had enough of, it's pigs. Oink oink, yippee, okay. When a wild boar mom has piglets, they can be, surprise, surprise, aggressive. These people walking appear to have zero survival instincts. I also like orangutans. Being highly intelligent animals, mental stimulation is a must. So over in Paradise Zoo, Belgium, keepers added a bunch of friends to entertain them. Yep, they share their enclosure with a family of otters. In the wild, Asian clawed otters and orangutans both come from Sumatra. So why not house them together in captivity? The otters and apes have become good friends and enjoy playing, even if it doesn't always look that way. Get back, ye demons! Nah, we all love cats. Would you like to see clips of them fighting? Tough, I'm playing them anyway. Observe as this cat tag team take down their oldest foe, the dog. Not even a shirtless man could break these fiends up. And taken by home CCTV in the UK, one cat faced a nightmare visit from a sinister stranger. And here's a cat punching a badger. For those familiar with The Owl and the Pussycat, a poem about interspecies love, the sight of these two animals making war may be upsetting. In England, this barn owl was just chilling in its nest when a rogue tawny came along without an invite. Who you looking at? Owls aren't the only spittin' birds around. The northern fulmar builds its nests on cliff faces, and to defend their homes, They vomit up a stinky oil and fire it at intruders. Yuck. Finally, it's time we headed to the land down under. Let's begin with the most Australian thing I can think of. A kangaroo drowning a dog. Captured by a concerned dog walker, Joe Hall, in Captain's Flat, New South Wales, this gray kangaroo must have perceived the dogs as threats due to their resemblance to dingoes. When threatened, kangaroos will hop off to seek refuge in the nearest billabong. But if the dog or dingo dares to follow, then the roo will grab the unsuspecting beast and hold it underwater. Crikey. If I'm being honest, red kangaroos might be the animal I fear the most. Whoa, it's pretty wild to see them support their entire body weight on their tails like that when they kick. This support means they themselves aren't launched backwards when they attack and can keep on kicking until their opponent eventually gives in. This footage was captured at the wonderfully Australian-sounding Warrumbungle National Park in New South Wales. According to the filmer, these bucks were fighting over territory, which is not an unusual sight. Look at those legs fly. Next up, wombat versus wallaby. Despite their dopey appearance, wombats can be fierce, though the wallaby can handle itself. What else is Australian? Oh, I know. Well, my ears are bleeding. As you can hear, koalas scream to intimidate their rivals, which is exactly what this one did when another climbed up its tree. Eventually, the rival buggered off, leaving the original occupant to scream in peace. In all of Tasmania, there's a creature with a snarl so terrifying it makes the blood congeal, the Tasmanian devil. Look at these beasts grappling over a fresh piece of meat. And now, let's have a drongo, annoy, and angry hoggo. And this little piggy cried, wee, 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 all the way home. We've made our way to the Arctic. No animal symbolizes this desolate and beautiful landscape more than the polar bear, the biggest bear on the planet. As climate change takes its toll on the Arctic ice, more polar bears are wandering into human settlements looking for food and coming face to face with our angry pets. That's one brave and dim hound. At least the bear stayed calm. In that cold weather, a hot dog would have made a tasty treat. And that's the end of this round. Be sure to let me know which brawl had you at the edge of your seat in the comments. Until next time.